In this video, I am going to discuss about the vacuum pump design consideration. In fact, this is very vast topic. There are many aspects in vacuum pump design. So right from the choice of selection of combination of pumps, then choice of the different materials used to manufacture the components of the vacuum system, the choice for valves, the choice for different types of welding techniques used, the choice for sealing, and so on. So there are different parameters one must take care of while designing the vacuum pump system. But in this video, I shall restrict myself some important theoretical aspects one must consider while designing the vacuum pump. So some of these parameters I shall discuss in this particular video. So according to theories, there are two basic ways of reducing the pressure or time needed for evacuation of chamber. So what are these two methods? One can increase the pumping speed or decrease the outgassing rate. So we have two options available with us, either to go for increasing the pumping speed or to decrease the outgassing rate. So see now here, both are important things. So if you try to increase the pumping speed, then surely you are going to reduce the pressure or time needed for evacuation of the chamber, because for every system there is some fixed amount of pump down time. So time required to reach the desired level of vacuum, that we call as pump down time. So that pump down time one can decrease by increasing the pumping speed or decreasing the outgassing rate. But both of these parameters, to control this parameter, that means either to increase the pumping speed or to decrease the outgassing rate, they are not so much easy. So to control the pumping speed, there are some parameters associated with it, and to decrease the level of outgassing rate, so for that you have to go for proper choice of the materials. You have to go for proper choice of the materials, then some maintenance of some preconditions of the vacuum chamber. So all these things one must consider in order to reduce the pressure or time needed to evacuate the chamber. Now the gas handling capacity of a pumping system at a given pressure is usually more important than the ultimate pressure. See now, this is one another important issue. So what ultimate pressure you can achieve the given vacuum system? So equally what is important is the gas handling capacity of the pumping system at a given pressure. So whether the given system is able to handle the gases or gas molecules present inside the chamber at a given pressure. So for example, as you go on decreasing, that means as you go on evacuating, pressure is going on decreasing and certain new issues are arising with your system. That may be permeation, leakages, or outgassing. So this is very important, how your system is going to handle. So the gas handling capacity of your system is also important, so that must be also considered while designing the system. Then the net pumping speed at the chamber is more significant than the nominal speed of the pump. Okay, so every manufacturer, they are mentioning the pumping speed. Okay, so that is a nominal pumping speed of that pump. So the liters per second, how much gas volume is evacuated per second or per unit time. So liters per second, that is the pumping speed. So the pumping speed which is mentioned by the manufacturer is a nominal speed, but the actual, or what we call as net pumping speed at the chamber, is more important. So that value depends upon so many parameters, design parameters of your vacuum system, and therefore the net pumping speed should be maintained as close as possible to the nominal speed of the given pumping system or vacuum pump. Then while choosing the components, so what is important is, when well chosen pumps, that means what is your requirement, what is your application, for what application you are using the vacuum system, accordingly you have to use a proper choice. That means you have to use a proper combination of pumps. Then if that pumps require a fluid, then what type of fluid is required, then the baffles, then troughs, so that can reduce or eliminate contamination problem. All these things must be take care of. Then another issue is rapid pumping requirements increase system cost. So if you want to evacuate the chamber in a very short time period, so whether it is possible, it is possible, but the system cost will definitely increase. And parallelly you have to look so many parameters, you have to keep on watching so many parameters when you are rapidly pumping a particular chamber or a system. Then in that particular case, definitely to control all the parameters, the system cost is increasing. Another issue when you are considering the vacuum pump design, so actually it is related to utilization of the particular chamber. So if you keep the chamber exposed for a longer time period to atmospheric conditions, then that will definitely increase the subsequent outgassing rate. So atmospheric gases may get absorbed into the various components of your vacuum system, and later on as you evacuate the chamber at a lower pressures, these gases will be dissolved, that sorry, they will come out, that means the outgassing will start. So that will unnecessarily increase the load of your vacuum pump. So this care must be taken. One should not expose the chamber directly to atmospheric gases for a longer time. Okay, then some of the important parameters uh, associated with the vacuum pump design we are going to consider. So first one is surface to volume ratio. Okay, so generally at high vacuum conditions, there is more gas adsorbed on the walls of the vacuum chamber than which is present in the space. Space means inside the chamber. So as you go on decreasing the pressure, that means you are increasing the vacuum. So at a higher level of vacuum, definitely there are less gas molecules inside the chamber. But whatever the adsorbed spaces on the walls of the chamber or the different components of your vacuum system, that is really more as compared to the number of gas molecules present inside the chamber. So this fact must be considered while designing the high vacuum system. Okay, so for high vacuum system, these dissolved adsorbed gas species, how to remove these adsorbed gas species, and how to tackle this issue of outgassing, that one must be considered while designing the high vacuum system, especially high vacuum system. So for smaller devices, the surface to volume ratio is higher. So smaller devices may be the small chamber and the components associated with your vacuum system. So in that particular case, whatever the size of the component, if it is too small, then definitely the surface to volume ratio is higher, and there is a tendency for small vacuum chambers to have a higher ratio of surface area to pumping speed. So surface area will be higher. Uh, so in that particular case, for the smaller size of chambers, we have higher ratio of surface area to pumping speed. So what will happen if you have this high surface area? Definitely, therefore, generally the adsorbed gas spaces on these surfaces, that will be more. So therefore, generally 5 centimeter diameter diffusion pump system, for example, do not produce low ultimate pressure as easily as 10 to 20 centimeter diameter pumping system. So 10 to 20 centimeter diameter pumping system, its size is greater as compared to 5 centimeter diameter diffusion pump. So definitely there the surface to volume ratio for 5 centimeter diameter pump, that will be greater, and therefore the pumping speed will be definitely affected in that particular case, because the adsorbed spaces in that particular case will be more on the walls of the container. Okay, so the gas load in a vacuum system critically depends on the materials used to build the system and how they are prepared and maintained. These are very important things. What type of materials you have used uh, while designing a vacuum pump system, so that will decide the gas load. Okay, so gas load means the amount of gas molecules that are present at any instant inside the chamber which you want to evacuate. So what kind of materials they are used and how they are prepared and maintained. So the method of preparation and how they are maintained, that is also a very important aspect of the vacuum pump design consideration. Materials adds to gas load in two ways. Okay, so one is evaporation, sorption and outgassing, and another way is diffusion and permeation. So at different vacuum level, these different phenomena, they are taking place. Maybe evaporation, sorption, outgassing, diffusion and permeation. But these are serious problems, and they are increasing the gas load of your pumping system. So some of the parameters one must look while choosing the materials. So one parameter, that is vapor pressure. So what is vapor pressure? So vapor pressure, it's a definition you can define as the pressure at which a material's evaporation or sublimation rate equals its condensation rate. So what is the meaning of this definition? So the meaning is, if you pump a system below a material's vapor pressure, what will happen? The material sublimes or evaporates, because at this pressure material's evaporation and sublimation rate equals its condensation rate. Therefore, if you try to pump a system below material's vapor pressure, the material sublimes or evaporates. As a general rule, you know that vapor pressure increases with temperature. So temperature is also important parameter. So these materials, while choosing the material, one must consider what is the vapor pressure of that particular material, and it is always desirable to use low vapor pressure material, for example stainless steel, glass, polyamide, etc. So the two reasons because of which the gas load is increasing, just now we have discussed. So the first reason we shall just discuss here, that is adsorption. The second reason we shall discuss here, adsorption, diffusion and permeation. So adsorption can be defined as the condensation of molecularly thin films on a solid surface. So whatever the components, solid components of your vacuum system, so a thin films of gas molecule or gas molecule layers will be adsorbed. So that is the adsorption process. So when water outgasses because low partial pressure of water strongly interfere with many processes and measurements performed in practical vacuum system. So water vapor or water molecules adsorb in the walls of the container. So that is the major gas load that contributes to a very large extent in your gas load of your pumping system, and therefore the problem must be reduced. So how to reduce the problem? As earlier I have told you that the vacuum system should not be exposed directly to atmospheric gases, because in atmospheric gases water vapor is present and that will be readily absorbed on the walls of the container or different components of your vacuum system. So what is the solution? So the time when you are not actually using the pump, so the chamber should be, and the system vents should be uh, filled with dry nitrogen. Okay, so this problem can be reduced by venting a system with dry nitrogen. So therefore, as you know, dry nitrogen that can be easily removed, and further it will not be adsorbed into the components. Whenever you want to start further evacuation, you can start just by again removing the uh, this dry nitrogen from your chamber. So solubility, then diffusion and permeation relate to, so other parameters like diffusion, permeation, they relate to materials chemical properties. Okay, so diffusion through the material or permeation through the material, so that will be decided by the properties, materials chemical properties, then lattice spacing and microstructure of the material, because the size of the gas molecules and the lattice structure, are there some channels, uh, or you can say the microstructure of the particular material. So are there any open channels through which at a very lower pressure these gas molecules can enter through and they will permeate into the chamber of your vacuum system? So the materials chemical properties, lattice properties and microstructure properties, they are also important. So gases and certain other high vapor pressure species readily dissolve in many solids. So uh, what will happen? These gases, they will be entering while manufacturing these components. These gas molecules will be present deep inside these particular solid materials at different sites in the lattice structure or microstructure of the material. And when you start evacuating, these gas molecules are going to be uh, enter into the chamber, and that will increase the gas load. So let us now discuss the different types of materials that are used for designing the vacuum system. So the choice, typical materials of choice, first one, glass. So the important properties of glass which attracts it as a suitable material for the different components, designing different components of a vacuum system. For example, it is hard enough, then it is non-porous, and structurally glass is rigid. Then the surface of the glass is smooth, that means it has minimum surface area. So what is the advantage of minimum surface area? You know that when it has, any component has a minimum surface area, so less gas molecules will be adsorbed on it, and therefore the gas load will be definitely reduced. Then another property, that the the glass is bakeable. So you know that when a particular component is selected for the uh, designing of your vacuum system, usually it is desirable to bake it at a higher temperature. So what is the advantage? If you bake it at higher temperature, whatever some of the gas spaces which are adsorbed on this particular component, they will be released, and especially the water vapor, and therefore later on if you use such a baked component in your vacuum system, definitely the gas load will be reduced on your vacuum pump. So some of the examples, the type of glass materials that are used: Pyrex or Chemex, where you have 70% of Si2, and it is bakeable up to 550 degrees centigrade. Then quartz or biquartz, where 96% of SiO2 is used, and it can be bakeable up to 1100 degrees centigrade. And one more characteristics of the glass is that it is chemically inert. So therefore glass is very suitable material for the different parts of your vacuum system. Then another kind of material is very suitable, that is ceramics. So you know that ceramics, they are electrically insulating material, then thermally also they are insulating material, and very attracting feature that they are bakeable to very high temperatures. So these are very attracting features, and they are machinable. Machinable means if you want to make fine surfaces of the components, then they can be machined. So but you must see that uh, after machining they must be fired. So they expands 2% on firing. So this care must be taken. Another choice is aluminum, which is very lightweight material. You know that it is very easier to machine these components of aluminum than as compared to stainless steel. Then it also forms impervious oxides. Then strength to weight ratio is greater than steel, and outgassing rate is 5 to 8 5 to 10 times than the stainless steel. So this is actually drawback. So, outgassing is much greater as compared to stainless steel, and it also forms some impervious oxides. So these are some issues associated with aluminum. So stainless steel is rather better, even though strength uh, to weight ratio of this aluminum is quite good. Then stainless steel. So industrially available two different grades, 304 and 316. These are the ideal type of grade stainless steel grade materials. They are used for designing the vacuum system components. The chromium in the steel combines with oxygen in the atmosphere to form a thin invisible layer of chrome containing oxide. This is called as passive film. The sizes of chromium atoms and their oxides are similar, so they pack neatly together on the surface of the metal, forming a stable layer on a few atoms thick. So that is actually good for the stopping the outgassing and dissolvation from the material. Uh, One more attracting feature of stainless steel, you know that it is non-porous and impervious to infiltration, and it is also bakeable to high temperature. Then brass and copper, in some cases they are also used. They can be easily machined, easily joined with soft or silver solder. So soldering issues are there with many other. For example, with stainless steel it is quite difficult, or some cost will be higher. But as brass and copper, they can be easily soldered. The component can be fitted with each other very easily. So fitting available from commercial plumbing suppliers. Then they can be easily joined with soft or silver solder. One more issue associated with brass, especially volatile zinc above 200 degree centigrade. So the zinc in brass, that is volatile above 200 degree centigrade. Then plastics. Nowadays, plastics are also a very good choice as a material for the different components of a vacuum system. So they can be easily formed, but they are not bakeable to very high temperature. Remember, nylon and Durlin are most stable type of plastic material. Uh, they have one problem, that they outgas water and air. Another choice, that is Teflon. So it can be baked over 200 degrees centigrade. It is soft but having poor mechanical strength. Then polyamide or Kapton, that is a good choice. It has very low vapor pressure, and it can be used as a tape for sealing the different joints in the vacuum system. Okay, so the valves, most of the time we are using valves in a vacuum system uh, for either pump isolation or gas flow control or gas admission. So the choice for valves is also a very important aspect while designing a vacuum system. So when you select a vacuum valve, there are many considerations. For example, whether it is for shut off if or for control, then the type of valve, the pressure range over which the valve to be used, and how it is to be actuated, and the seal material. So backstreaming or leakages through valves, that is also a kind of problem. So seal materials that are used, then how it can be actuated, what type of valve you are selecting. So all these things, pressure range, these are important parameters when you select a valve for a particular application, either for pump isolation or gas flow control or gas admission. Compatibility of construction material exposed to the process, or the ability of the operating mechanism to tolerate opening against a pressure differential may also be considered. So this is very important parameter. So ability of the operating mechanism to tolerate opening against a pressure differential. So what is this pressure differential? So at an exhaust point especially, the outside pressure is atmospheric pressure, and inside the chamber you have very high level of vacuum, that means very low pressure. So there is a differential for force from outside, that means outside pressure is very higher, inside pressure is lower. So there will be pressure from outside to in the inward direction of your vacuum system. So the operating mechanism must tolerate this pressure differential. Okay, so these are all the different parameters. Now whenever you design a particular vacuum system for a typical application, what should be the choice of the particular combination of pump? Because you know that when you are especially when you are designing the vacuum system, high vacuum system, then it is not actually possible to go with only one type of vacuum pump, because some of the pumps they need initially roughing. So for that you have to use a proper roughing pump. Then at the exhaust also, some of the pumps they require, rather it is desirable to use the backing pump. So a proper choice of backing pump, that is also a very interesting uh, aspect of the high vacuum pumping system designing. Okay, so here just a list of the different pumps and their pumping range. So the vacuum level that is increasing in a increasing manner. This is a vacuum level in an increasing manner. You can see here cryo pump, ion sputter pump, and turbomolecular pump. They can even create a vacuum up to a level of 10 raised to minus 11 millibar. Okay, so this some of the mechanical pump, most of this they have low level of vacuum capability. So the choice of a particular vacuum system, not only the pumping range. Uh, see here the cryo pump and ion pump, their starting pressures you have 10 raised to minus 4 or minus 3, of the order of 10 raised to minus 3 or minus 4 millibar. So before that, you must have another pump which has brought that particular level of uh, pressure, and so that your uh, cryo pump or ion pump that will come in picture for creating higher level of vacuum. So therefore you need a roughing pump, and you can have a particular choice of roughing from in this particular range, which is operating in this particular range. And this is a very interesting list here. One must consider while choosing a proper combination of pump. So the roughing pump, you must select it properly. Most of the roughing pump we are using mechanical type of pumps. Then the main vacuum pump, so what is your application, for what application you are using, that is very important aspect when you select a suitable combination of vacuum pump. So main pump should be also properly chosen. Then the cost of the system, uh, then the amount of energy required, the safety issues, all these things, they are very important issues. And again, backing pump, the choice for backing pump, as I have told you, depending on what particular type of main pump you are using, accordingly you have to choose a particular type of backing pump. So these are some of the main issues associated with the vacuum system design consideration. Uh, in fact, I have just discussed here very primary level of issues associated with the design consideration. In fact, covering all the issues is quite difficult in a single video. So this is all about the design consideration of vacuum system.